Sean Dunn, the human catapult of condiments, hurls a ham-on-rye right into the grill of an ICE agent. After, of course, having mandatorily screamed in their faces about their fascism, like he's auditioning for a reboot of The Exorcist meets Subway Surfers. And what happens? The grand jury shrugs like, bigger fish to fry. Pass the mustard. And guys, as we get started here, thumb up the video for the algorithm and leave me a comment with your thoughts. So, what happens after this? Today, in a courtroom twist that makes Law and Order look like a boring documentary, this deli desperado gets slapped with misdemeanor assault charges, stares down the barrel of a damning video. Evidence that is irrefutable. You know, the kind where his arm's basically a slow-mo boomerang of beef and betrayal to our nation. And the D.C. jury, after 7 hours, they find him not guilty. So what do you think this is? It's jury nullification. These folks must have thought, sure, he assaulted the officer of the law on camera, but that's not the law enforcement that we support. So, Antifa's commie clowns are out there plotting to incinerate ICE facilities and shoot up ICE officers, as they've already attempted to twice, and suddenly have been openly told they have a base from which to work. Their attitude becomes, try us in court, suckers. We're basically unprosecutable fanfic characters. Because in the Trump deranged fever swamps that are the blue jurisdictions, any resistance becomes fair game. Yell in the cops' faces, heroic. Spit on them, approve. Chuck a club sandwich at federal agents, that's just expressing your artisanal angst. In 2020, lawyers in New York City were caught throwing Molotov cocktails into police vehicles, and they received only 1 year in prison. And they had federal prosecutors writing the judge for leniency because they're on the correct side of events, of the racial gap. Meanwhile, Enrique Tarrio, not even at the January 6th protest, the leader of the Proud Boys, got 18 years in prison for the riot that ensued. And don't get me started on Virginia. Oh wait, too late, we're going with it. They elected Jay Jones, a guy whose daydreams sound like a rejected Saw sequel, scripted by a rejected South Park intern. Oh, let's murder the political opponent of mine as well as his children and watch them bleed out in mommy's arms, and boom, suddenly they're gonna flip their political beliefs because of the pain that was caused to them, because we are your moral superiors. It's like grief counseling with a side of guillotine if you get the answers wrong. Brought to you by the same enlightened souls who will clutch their pearls if you misgender a houseplant. But hey, fantasize about filleting your foes? That's just passionate, allowable discourse. If your opponents, of course, are on the centrist or on the right. If they're on the right, you are allowed to enact your fantasies, and the DC jury will find you not guilty. Because, my friends, we are not a society anymore. We're a bad improv troupe where the only rule is anything is allowed if it's in hatred of the great orange. The law is less a blindfolded lady with scales and more a tipsy bartender serving free shots to her friends and shooing away business from actual paying customers. Of course, at the expense of the bar owner, who is you, who inherited this wonderful nation that they are destroying. Because You think that there's such a thing as equal justice? That's for fairy tales. That's what used to be long, long ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's right next to Bigfoot runs a fair election, and politicians keep their hands out of your wallet. And at this rate, we're never going to experience alien life because there's a collective eye roll from outer space with aliens stating that the only reason that they aren't showing themselves is because y'all need serious therapy.